My father teaches this at a college. He teaches mass communication, persuasion, public speech. He's a wizard. But I know how it works. And if people want to know, I will teach them. And you can look at my life. I bat 1,000.
I know how it works.
This is Grab Our Football, pal. Strap on your helmet. This is real. I know how it works. This is real.
You are listening to Covert Radio.
How you guys doing? This is Covert Radio. And this is brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. Covert Radio is delivering the highest level of discerning insight into events, people, and the contrived lies of the demented tide. And I got to tell you guys that there's so much information I want to unpack in this. This was going to be part of another video that I'm actually doing tonight, but I got to be honest with you guys, and I've made this known to a few people close with Covert Radio. Owen Benjamin has broken something in my brain in the last several days. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. He's broken something. And what I feel right now is like what he's done is rewound the clock for me about, I'd say a minimum of a year. How I feel right now is how I felt about a year ago. And I don't know why this happened. It's actually very interesting to me that somebody could ignite. Well, somebody who's being investigated by Covert Radio, put it that way, who's been mentioned 50-some times in a lawsuit. It's amazing to me that he has the capacity to ignite this in my mind. And this big video that he's just done again, for another 40 acres, it just broke something in my mind. And for several days, I've been going back and looking and sourcing and looking. You know, I learned a long time ago that because, you know, doing the work I do, I've been online, I've been on the internet, I've used computers since the 90s. And you learn over the years that archiving is something that if you don't, in my type of work, if you don't archive, you're really selling yourself short. You're gambling. You're playing Russian roulette if you don't archive. And I could say as simple as work on something, save it, rename it, start from there, version 2, work on something, save it, rename it, version 3. Because as you keep going and working and building and compiling and rearranging, fixing, updating, if something goes wrong with code or something, scripting or something, or an edit goes wrong or something goes wrong, you can always go back and grab version 1, the original, and start working your way back up to where the problem, happened. And you can ditch version 8 and start with 7. It's kind of like, rolling back Windows. Do you guys remember that when you got for Windows 2000, you get or Windows XP, you get a service pack update and your computer goes haywire. You lose all kinds of stuff. You can always roll back. You can go back. And I've just been accustomed to that. I've adopted that for the last 30 years, 20 some years. And, you know, it's amazing what I have. It's amazing. It amazed me actually, because it's almost like a automatic thing that I do. It's an automatic thing. Save videos, save screenshots all the time. I don't know why. I just do it. But the problem is, and I've addressed this recently with Owen Benjamin, I gave an estimated number based on, you know, a lot of, you know, variables, a lot of information that he has between, you know, and I said since 2018, he has between 7,000 and 10,000 hours of content on the internet, or at one point, you know what I mean, had accumulated that amount. So with somebody who is always doing that, it's easy to archive, dump, forget to name, archive, dump, date it. That's it. You think you're going to go back and remember. But once I realized that he also is, you know, this wizard of rhetoric, and he uses all these, you know, all these weapons, these rhetorical weapons that, like, logical fallacies, such a fan, he's such a fan of using logical fallacy. It's something that is in his wheelhouse 24/7. And I noticed several months ago, I'd say about 6-8 months ago, maybe 5-6 months ago, he started doing something. I started naming bury the lead. And he knows that these people who watch him, his fanboys, his sycophants, they are not going to research and look for the truth. He knows that. And this is something that's actually now he's walking on into the darkness with this aspect of his grift. 1 second. Okay. So he's walking I just got a text. I had to read it. He's walking on the edge of this. And what I mean by that is, like, he just keeps doubling down, like just with this grift now with the 40 acres. When is enough? And see, this is the part where my brain snapped, because I've said this before. What is the problem? What do I want on my tombstone, guys? What was the problem? I've told you guys this. Put on my tombstone, the problem was greed. That's it. And when you have heartless, evil people, in my opinion, like Owen Benjamin, who is so addicted to money, so addicted to manipulation, so addicted to playing God with these low IQ people. And I genuinely mean that. There's a condition, and I'm going to talk about this in the next video in depth for anybody who is just now becoming a member of the Covert Radio listening audience, or maybe you're a member of the Covert Radio Tribunal. Maybe you've stumbled onto my channel and you're like, oh, what is this? This is an in-depth investigation into a public figure, ex-celebrity known as Owen Benjamin. And there's a condition I've talked about in depth over the last year or so. It's called the celebrity worship syndrome. And there's also two researchers have coined it the celebrity obsession disorder. And it's COD. Like, they use the acronym COD or CWS all the time. Celebrity worship syndrome. These two researchers coined it in 2003. And what it is, it's these, and I'm going to show you proof of this in the next video. But again, I've talked about this before, but Owen's entire grift has been watered down to, I mean, he's overly exposed, but he still keeps doubling down. He's so watered down, he's lost. He's this clown, family friendly, whatever. It's just such a bizarre character. But now it's all based around survival and money, because he's finally whittled down his listening base to drooling sycophants. There's nobody new who cares about Owen Benjamin. There's no young people who care about Owen Benjamin. You know what? I got to shut my phone off, you guys. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Because this is going to keep happening. And I can't tell if you guys can hear this or not. Okay. But he knows his whole audience has been watered. Did it turn up? Hold on. I literally have to shut it off. Come on. Boy, this is annoying, man. Hold on 1 second. Okay. That should do it. I apologize. But his whole audience now is just been whittled down to these sycophant, mentally ill people who have CWS or COD, however you want to label it. But they are clearly lost people themselves. So when they look at Owen, they look at him as an authority figure. And Owen, because of the wizard that he is, and because of his unempathetic wielding of rhetoric, you know, there's a lot of hate and pain in Owen Benjamin. And I'm going to prove that to you in this video here. I'm going to make Owen eat his own words, like I've done 1,000 times. But in this video, I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm going to start from beginning to end. And this probably is the only time, the last time that I'm going to do this, because this is a game for him. This is the wielding of his rhetoric, his wizardry of, you know, bury the lead. You know, he knows he's an authority figure. He knows that there's a method to what the way he controls the people who he's emptying their pockets, who are making him a millionaire by buying him land he puts in his private name. He built a now it's up to, I have the new tax records, $1.56 million estate based off of a $200,000 grift that he started back several years ago in 2020. But it's gotten worse and worse because he doesn't have the ready-made trauma from the Zionists to use with Covert and everything. So he doesn't have that. So, you know, see, I'm jumping around because I got 2 videos, and this is why I wanted to do this separately, because I did not want to include this in the bigger video, because this alone is going to be at least an hour, because the video we're going to watch of his is about 58 minutes. Let me not jump around. Okay. I'm trying to be, it's all floating in my head. I apologize. But again, he broke something in my brain. Let me go back to this. He's an authority figure to these low IQ, mentally ill people who have the celebrity worship syndrome. Okay. He's their daddy. And I'm going to give you a psychological profile of a few of the top brass in the next video. But because I know exactly who they are, for real. So he's this authority figure, and because he's wielded this rhetoric like a weapon, he has done it in steps. Like the whole intro is Owen's voice. And I bat 1,000. The reality is he has built, him and Vox Day together at first, you know, Vox with the gamma and the delta and okay, it's all bullshit. But Owen has coined he's been able to label the people who speak out against him his gammas. And Adam Camacho even confirmed this when he was highly involved with Owen and the Beartaria cult. You know, Adam would say that, and this is a first-hand account, so that's why I kind of put a lot of weight into what Adam says. he was like, all really Owen had to ever say was, oh, the gammas. And we all discounted immediately. So Owen has done that. That's something that, like, it's basically a logical fallacy, but it's called circularity. It's a form of rhetoric. And what he's been able to do is, with circular reasoning or circularity, whatever you want to call it, he's been able to dissuade his people, his cult members, from seeking the truth, because he immediately jumps out in front of it and says gamma or them or they. It's always us versus them, us versus them. And Owen always needs a target. Well, the stronghold target always are the gammas, right? The gammas. Like Adam Camacho said, he would go out to the Reddit, Owen Benjamin subreddit, and report. He'd go through everything and, just kind of just report on what the gammas are doing. And Owen even mentions, oh, I know the gammas are going to take this and run with it. The reality is that's called circularity, and it's a form of rhetoric warfare. It's circular reasoning, and it can be simply explained like this. If A is B, then B is A. And he does it over and over and over and over and over again. If A is B, then B is A. If A is B and B is A. Over. And as an example, we're going to look at an example right here in this video. But as an example, you could say something like, you'd hear, and Owen has said this 1,000 times. Hey guys, those who speak out against me, they're lying. They're just all liars. They're gammas. The gammas are slandering me. Okay, so that's A. In the circularity rhetoric weapon, that is A. Those who speak out against me are gammas. They're liars. They're lying gammas. They slander me. So then B is basically everybody I label as a gamma does what? In the cult members' minds, they're liars. They do nothing but lie, and they do nothing but slander righteous authoritarian figure Daddy Owen. So if A is B, then B is A. If A is B, then B is A. Round and round and round we go. I'm stopping that today, sir. I'm going to embarrass you, and I'm going to show you and your cult that you're full of shit. And I can prove this every single day if I wanted to. And if you want me to, and I'm speaking to the Covert Radio listeners, become a Covert Radio Tribunal member. Allow me to do this more. The link is in the description. It's a pragmatic defect, and I cannot tolerate it. That's why something has broken in my brain in the last several days. Logical fallacy destroys my mind. And circularity bullshit based on nothing but rhetoric and bullshit and lies destroys my brain, because that is his primary weapon other than ad hominem attacks. What he says has no proof. And I'm going to prove that in this clip we're going to watch right here. What he says has no proof. So he can't persuade anybody to go out and seek the truth, because they already look at him as an authoritarian figure. It's called the argument from authority. Like, they do not need any other words but his. And he knows that. So he can do circular reasoning all the time because there's no proof. because there's proof needed on his end, first of all, that, oh, guys, they're taking my words. They're slicing them together, and it's totally taken out of context. Guys, I never said that, you guys. Guys, they'll take, 3 seconds out of a stream that was 3 hours long, and then they try to build a whole scenario. It's so where's the proof of that, though, Owen? Where's the evidence of your conclusion? He doesn't have it because he knows he's lying. But he also knows the Beartards don't know that. The reason circular reasoning works for him is because he also knows the vast majority of people the gammas in quotations, who speak out against him, like Covert Radio, he's betting high that either the full-length videos don't exist anymore, they're hidden, they were wiped off when the big YouTube channel went down that had millions of views, or it's lost somewhere in the last 5 years, the 7,000 to 10,000 hours of Owen Benjamin. So he's hedging his bet that nobody's going to come at him and say, well, no, sir, this is the video right here. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm putting this to bed. And Owen, I'm telling you something. I don't fall for your bullshit. I could do this every day if I wanted to. I could destroy you with your own words and prove to everybody every day that you're a liar. But I'm only going to do it this time right now today. I can't stand the bullshit. I can't stand the waste of time. And Owen does this every time he gets backed into a corner. He did this with, what's the guy that was on Gavin McGinnis and Kumio's, whatever, censored or whatever it is, censored TV. They did the, he's an older guy. He has Mama Jean tattooed on his arm. I covered it. I can't remember his name, but he did this to him. I'll get his name. He did this to him. This guy was bringing up valid points, and Owen would be like, oh, okay, so when did I say that? Supposedly I said this. Okay, Jim Goad was his name. I knew it would come to me. Jim, so when did I say that, Jim? I said that too, right, Jim? Okay. When did I say that? Okay, guys, he's trying to say I said so. I didn't say. What's that, sir? Now, can you clarify? Circularity, clarification, rhetoric, all weaponized, taught by daddy. When he's backed into the corner, the very first thing he does is ask for clarification. Because he's hedging a bet that you can't clarify. You can't source it. Again, I'm going to do that right now. I want to play this video first, though. I know part of this. I don't know all of it. I don't even know if I watched all of it, but let's take a listen here.
But the one thing you have to do is bang a guy. Like, that's what makes you gay. Right? It's that sexual act. Because loving a man doesn't make you gay. Being kind of soft and sweet doesn't really make you gay. I mean, it makes you gay in my vernacular. I mean, I think being in a building makes you gay. But the one thing that actually makes you like a gay man is you put things in your asshole and you think it's great.
God.
Like, you're like, that's what defines.
Really? What is, I mean... Who wants to listen to this? What grown men want, like, seriously, this shows you the caliber of the Beartards. Like, who wants to listen to a 50-year-old guy talking about shoving things in his ass? Fucking disgustingly sick. Like, who wants to hear this? If people pay and buy you land so they can hear, like, you're starting to put it together, guys. Oh, how great, proper, and true the Beartard cult is. Out of here.
Me, and I'm like, if you actually think about hiring a guy that does that, like, you can't be like a bus driver. You can't make sandwiches. Like, imagine if someone's like, I define myself not by what no, actually it's what they love. It's like, I define myself by what I love the most in the world is putting things in my ass. And I know that'll be clipped. I see all these little tiny clips, and my new thing with the clip guys, like, somebody posted a clip of a stream where I was like, my dad and my fucking godfather are fucking gay or something like that. And they're like, the internet never forgets. I'm like, post the episode. I'll put up the clip. And they're
no, I'm going to play the whole episode right now, Owen. He's reframing. He's gammatizing. He's burying the lead. And he's starting, and he's been doing this. And I cannot take this. He's starting to try to plant these seeds in the Beartard's brains, and really anybody who will listen to him, that clips of him are doctored and nothing. Gosh, oh my, let me grasp my pearls. Why would I ever say anything my father and some stepdad or godfather, I don't know. The Gammas are crazy. Oh, really? They're crazy. You mean the same stream that you threatened to kill your dad and you had plans to kill your dad and Amy talked you down? Yeah, we're going to watch the entire thing, Owen, from beginning to end. So everybody knows it's actually crazier than that. That's the funny part. Hey guys, if you just give me the clip, I mean, I'll put it up right here, you guys. I'll put a nice little red bow on. You see what I mean, you guys? They don't have it. It's all doctored, right? I'm not going to allow you to do this, and I'm going to embarrass you right here, right now. You can't embarrass me. I have no secrets. You have no secrets other than the secrets. You're not going to start that narrative, too. All these clips of me are just so doctored. Okay, let's take it back. And my fucking godfather are fucking gay or something like that. And they're like, the internet never forgets. I'm like, post the episode. I'll put up the clip. And they're like, oh, I don't know the episode. I'm like, just tell me the episode. I'll put the whole thing in context. That looks hilarious or profound. And he's like, ah. I'm like, you don't even know, like, where did you clip it from? And they're like, I'm like, dude, a 3-second clip is nothing. Show me a full clip. Okay, I'm going to show you the entire video. And it's 10 times worse than that 3-second clip. You better watch what you ask for, sir. You've asked for this. I'm going to do it. Wait till the next video, too. And see what Covert Radio found in the vault. And they're like, oh, you just said, yeah, but look at the clip. I'm like, dude, I'm a comedian, and I also am known for very provocative, big ideas being explained. So what's the clip? And you realize that the clip, they don't care. They're just trying to, see, the whole, all he's doing is lying. It's actually sad. I mean, I don't think I've watched all of this. That's sad. That's actually unbelievably sad. This video, those clips, 3-second, this video I'm going to play you in entirety, that all of those clips came from, about his dad being gay and his dad was banging his godfather and all that. It's 10 times worse than any clip you've seen in its entirety. on top of that, Owen vented this as a way of, I can finally tell the truth. And he did it almost he actually needs therapy. But he's using the internet as a therapist. And during this drop of outing his father and outing the family secret and outing his professionalism, it was a cleansing moment for Owen. That's how selfish and crazy he is, in my opinion. Legitimately insane. Pathological, in my opinion. It was a cleansing moment for him to destroy his daddy and his daddy's reputation and out mommy's secrets. Why do you think his mother looks like a ghoul? You're going to see from beginning to end in 58 minutes why mommy looks like a ghoul and everything she keeps secret, right?
Make me look like something. It's about slander. And I'm like, dude, I would love anyone to watch the entire episode of anything I've ever done.
Okay, no problem, sir. We're going to do that here in about a minute, right? A couple minutes.
That's why we work so hard to keep them all at unauthorized. Because out of context, you can take a 3 or 5 second clip. Like, you could just take that clip I just did of like, my favorite thing in the world is to shove things in my ass and be like, look at him, look at him. And, but if you really think about it, you can't hire a man that does that. Like, you can't, and that's not persecution. It's just like crazy. Like, imagine if I'm like, I need to do this. Or it's like, the way I show love is I let people put things in my ear. You're like, oh yeah, you're not allowed near the keys. And then the ass is like the grossest thing in the world. So anyway, that's what I consider vulgarity. I don't consider the hard end vulgarity. I just don't. I mean, I can see how it's socially inappropriate for some people. It triggers them.
Again, splaining. Owen, you mentioned something in there about slander. So somebody using a clip of you saying something you think is slander? Is this the new thing, the new dog whistle? Because I'm not sure you know what slander is. Because that's not slander, sir. Slander is making false statements. And see, because your life is online, not only that, you are also a public figure. And you're extremely volatile, vulgar. It's kind of, it's a gray area. I don't know if, you might get some hack attorney somewhere. I don't know who, but you might get some hack attorney to I don't know, maybe pick up a case for slander, but I don't know. It's going to be costly. You know what I mean? Because somebody has to make a bunch of false statements, but it has to be proven that there's an intent to defame them. Defamation, which I've heard you throw around recently too, is, somebody trying to cause harm to your reputation. Somebody else causing harm to your reputation. You don't think you've harmed your own reputation enough? And see, by people using clips of you and who you are, and this new character of Waka Waka Hong Kong, available for kids' birthday parties. Owen the Clown. You want to hear a dirty joke, kids? Pig fell in the mud. Hoo-dee-hoo. Hey, get that $20 bill out of your mommy's purse and put that in the clown's pants. Whatever new character you're trying to be now, it's never going to work. And I mean, I don't know if you're just being who the cult wants you to be as they serve you their daughters. And we're going to cover that in depth. But nobody ruins your reputation more than you do, sir. But even at that, okay, even if you had a squeaky clean, even if that was really you, and nobody could source 7,000 to 10,000 hours of information, your words off the internet, it would still have to be untrue. Like, Owen Benjamin robbed and manipulated thousands of people in 2020 for $400 to buy a campground, and in exchange they would have 2 weeks access to it. Is that untrue? No, it's not. No, it's not. So that's not defamation, and that's not slander. But if I would say something like, Owen Benjamin robbed a bank, and I don't know, while he was in there, he held everyone hostage as he jumped onto the counter, and, he was dressed as Ponyboy Curtis from The Outsiders for some reason. All of a sudden, he pulls a wire hanger out of his jacket, and he starts acting out scenes from Mommy Dearest. He starts beating himself. And I'm saying this is in a bank on top of the counters. He's holding, everybody hostage there. They're like, please get this guy some help. He starts beating himself with a wire hanger, finger in his ass with the other hand, crying, saying, "What's wire hangers doing in this closet when I told you no wire hangers ever?" I hear people saying Joey Diaz pot brownie destroyed his mind. And what do I get? A son who cares as much about the beautiful dresses I give him as he cares about me. No wire hangers ever. Now that would be slander. That would be slanderous. I mean, I don't even know if that's full-blown slander. Because, did you rob a bank? I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. Did you dress as Ponyboy Curtis? And stood on top the banker teller, counter there? There's no proof of it. Is Mommy Dearest one of your favorite movies, except you change all the words from her to him? And you still beat yourself with a wire hanger while you finger your ass? I don't know. Is there some truth to that? Some truth, maybe? Is there some truth?
I went through like 1 week where every time I whacked, I threw a finger in there. And
your own finger?
Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking great. I was like
you have somebody else's finger. And
no,
literally, of course it's your own finger.
Yeah. No, I got this dead body. But so I got a finger in there, and I remember being like, this makes it twice as good.
Is it untrue? I don't know. I don't know if Mommy Dearest is one of your favorite movies. I don't know. Even that, Owen, would be borderline slander. Again, you'd have to prove all of that is being said in an effort to defame you. But I think you've done a pretty good job at it yourself, sir.
But it's not vulgarity. Vulgarity is a concept or a subject matter that it would cause damage to a child. That's how I view it. Yeah, my buddy just said I stopped engaging when Trump didn't lock up Hillary. At that point, I knew it was BS. 100%. Dude, for me, it was Obama. Dude, I voted for Obama in 2008 because I'm like, man, sometimes I get...
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else here, and I don't want to waste your time. I just wanted to play the beginning part of that and set the stage for what we're about to watch because, like I said, I'm sick of the logical fallacy. I'm sick of the circularity, the bullshit. I'm not going to tolerate it. And I'm also not going to spend time on doing this every day. Unless you guys really wanted me to, I would. But again, Owen knows he has this authority over these low IQ people. He knows that. He knows that he runs the cult. He knows he has control over the vast majority. I mean, the cult's all men, the vast majority. They all recognize daddy as the authority. And since he's the one who spoke the words, he can say whatever he wants because they don't even know where those clips come from. They don't even know the actual stream that came from in its entirety. So why wouldn't they believe that it's all a lie? Or, you know, again, with the circularity, the A is B and B is A, that the gammas are lying. So we're going to jump into this right here. And this is 56 minutes and 13 seconds. This is the entire stream in its entirety. And what you think was crazy with these 3-second clips you may have heard, you're going to see how fucking crazy this is. Watch.
Check 1, check 2. Checkity check. Let's see what my speed is. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is going to be quite a doozy today. It's going to be a good one, but it's going to be very personal. And it's been a long time in the making. Let me see if we're live here. Hi. This one's the full story of my father. It's now my story to tell. And it'll connect a lot of dots for a lot of you guys. And it'll kind of really hammer home a lot of the points that I've been trying to make for a while now and how to live your life and how I was on the edge of really going down a bad path, and I was saved, and I'm here, surviving, doing a great job. But today, everyone gets to know the whole story. Why? Because I told him that if he ever put my mother in danger or my family in danger because of his appetites, I would expose him. And of course, he said, so I'm a man of my word. This isn't going to be a blast for me either, guys. I have a lot of enemies that will twist and distort it, but it's all good. I said that if he ever did something, if he didn't watch himself, everyone knows. So here we are. All right, so let's kick things off with Mountain Bear at Owen Benjamin Bits did. Sorry, buddy, it's fine. No, it's very relieving. And it's got a great moral of the story. It's got a great message. It's all about love. Just trust me on this. There's going to be parts that are not a blast to hear, but I finally can tell the whole story. And I'll tell you exactly why I could tell the whole story. And, and this will help people. But first, let's, hit the Rogan's Up button, obviously. Let's watch Owen Benjamin Bits. Has a new one that just came out about Jimmy Fallon. Subscribe to Owen Benjamin Bits.
Whoa. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had other speakers on. You know, I've talked about a digital loop. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but that was a ton of feedback. I had my Bose speakers on listening from across the room, but I wanted to jump back over here because I'm again, I don't want any aspersions that, this is doctored and look at the cuts. There's no fucking cuts. This is the stream, the one in its entirety right here. So that's why I'm letting this play, but I am going to do this. He doesn't really start getting into this for like 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to speed this up because I can't. I just don't have the time to do this. I can't listen to this for another hour. So I'm going to speed this up to the point where it really starts. But I'm not going to cut it, and I'm not going to skip over anything, but we're going to speed it up here.
Putting everything to South Park cartoons is so funny. This is the Faustian deal of Jimmy Fallon. This will definitely go into my special that we're taping. I can't stop laughing at the Faustian deals. And this fits in quite well with today's topic.
Hey, no way! It's the devil! Hey, devil! I want to be like the biggest talk show host in the whole wide world. Hello, Jimmy Fallon. You are named after a bird. Yeah, Fallons. Fallons are great. Everything's great. You'll be the new Johnny Carson. Really? No way. Look, I'll sign it. But you'll sound like a retard. What's that? What'd you say? Nothing, Jimmy. You're here to stay. You'll be the number one late night. You will host the Tonight Show. Your name will be in lights. Everyone will know you. Commercials, stars, celebrities. Beyonce will call you her friend. No way. Beyonce, call me friend. That's great. That's so cool. That's the greatest thing ever. Where do I sign? And you will talk like you are a fucking retard. What'd you say? Nothing. You will be known by everyone as a homo. No way. That was a good deal. I want to be like Johnny Carson. You will be famous like Johnny Carson, but you will not be respected by Johnny Carson. You have not read your contract, your terms and conditions. But I thought I was number one. I'll be the number one late night show. You are number one, but number one retard. Oh, no way. It's still a bummer. You are known, Jimmy Fallon. You are known for being a cook. No way. It's great. It's us. The devil.
Oh my God, I just gotta show you one part. Okay, so thanks again. Oh, and for those who just joining, today we tell the whole story of my father. It'll connect a lot of dots, and I think a lot more people will relate than anyone wants to admit. But again, thanks again, Owen Benjamin Bits. Subscribe to him. He's just a legend. And the funniest part for me,
he thinks a lot more people's going to relate to this fucking story. This is the planet that he lives on. Sorry, I just put a combo in my mouth. I'm so addicted to combos. Yeah, Owen, a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. It's just, I can't. It's so sad, man.
Because I listened to that about 10 times today while I was running errands. It's when he says, you're named after a bird. Because of course he isn't. Fallon, F-A-L-L-E-N, means fallen from God. It's like fallen, but Fallon. And then F-O-L-L-O-N is a non-gendered Irish Gaelic word that means like granddaughter or grandson of a duke. But the whole thing is the devil just says he's named after a bird, and Jimmy Fallon just agrees because he'll agree with anything. Like, just listen to the bird part again. It's so random and stupid, but makes me laugh every time. Just listen to the bird part.
Hey, no way. It's the devil. Hey, devil. I want to be like the biggest talk show host in the whole wide world. Hello, Jimmy Fallon. You are named after a bird. Yeah, Fallons. Fallons are great. Everything's great. You'll be the
He just immediately goes with it. He's like, Fallons. Fallons are great. It's great. Yeah, there's Falcon and Talon, not Fallon. You are named after a bird. Yeah, oh yeah, Fallon's great. All right, so let's go through a couple things, and now I'll tell you the full story of my father, because it's also good to get this on record as things are getting odd.
All right, I'm going to slow it down just a touch, so because it's not ready to start yet, but I'll take it down a notch.
In the winding down of a wizard's life, and it'll pretty dark stuff, but out of darkness comes light. If you ever want to know how to make a wizard killer, give a kid my dad and my mom, the warmth and logos and love and honor of my mother, and the never-ending cancerous wizardry of my father. And
you know what's funny is, and I'm going to point this out. I'm not framing this. I'm just pointing this out. Okay, I'll slow it down. We only got a few, 50 minutes. Wait, trust me. If you've never seen this stream in its entirety, which I know most of you haven't, the Covert Radio vault is overflowing. That's all I know. Number one. Number two, you do not know the level of crazy. And I want to point this out. Owen, during this phase of his life, now mind you, this is a few years ago, okay? This is not decades ago. This is a few years ago. This version of Owen Benjamin was still LARPing that he's a Christian, when in just months after this, he says, "Eck you and your Lord" to Jim Bob or somebody. People have played that clips over and over again. Was that taken out of context too, Owen? "Fuck you and the Lord." Was that taken out of context? But here, when the LARP, just before the LARPing started, he's a God-fearing Christian all of a sudden, and implores his daddy to seek the saving blood of Christ. Okay. Well, all right. That's one. And the other part of this is in something to pay attention to, which is just unbelievable, is I want you to, and again, this is only a few, to current day today, right now, my voice is only a few years after this video. And I want you to compare Owen to his dad, what Owen is doing to his family, now that he's going to explain to you what his dad did to their family. This cycle is going over and over and over. Owen, your legacy is a fucking joke. And that's my opinion, and it's only a matter of time before your young kids start understanding that. Because I promise you, it's only going to get worse for you. You've destroyed your name. You've destroyed your family. You've destroyed your business. You've destroyed everything you've touched. The Zionist handed you a perfectly working enterprise, and all you had to do is not drop it. Well, it's too late. The genie does not go back into the bottle. But again, the uncanny comparison between Owen current day and what he's doing to his family and what Owen is going to explain here that his dad did to them. Pay attention to that.
It kind of has that double combo where I absolutely don't care about trolls. I just find them annoying. It's impossible to shame me, and I also kept my soul. So we'll have fun with that. All right, let's go through a couple funny things, though. So
you lost your soul, and see, here we go. Let's get into, again, this is all non sequitur. This has nothing to do with his cleansing moment. Sir, money has eroded you and your soul and the greed. So congratulations. Maybe you had something during this video after the fine fence you built there in the background. But with your father-in-law. But yeah, I've been watching that long, Owen. But you've lost it, sir. The greed. You're a shell of this person. Even this person was trying. You don't even try anymore. You're lost and you're gone. There's so much truth to apply to Owen in this video that it's startling.
The New York Times says, the Apollo program was designed by men for men. If we do not acknowledge the gender bias of the early space program, it becomes difficult to move past it. Okay, that's 5 layers of lies. Gets forgiveness, begs forgiveness from Christ. I really wish him salvation if he can do it. I think the odds are almost 0, but anyway. So that's 5 layers of lies. When you realize we didn't even go to the moon, they're now making it a gender thing. So would you like to see the 6th layer of lies? So now Ben Shapiro jumps in and says, so we're really going to do this stupid S******. Okay, so now Ben Shapiro is engaging in a lie on a lie on a lie on a lie. So he's now doing a fake battle about whether or not the space program, which was a lie, is actually oppressive to women. Just as a quick note to Ben Shapiro, if you're going to advocate the bombing of women and children, which he has for a long time, go ahead and say shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's earned it. You know, if the fire that he's going to spend eternity in because of his endless lust for blood and gold, feel free to...
Endless lust for blood and gold. Hashtag Shapiro, right? Promo code Shapiro, right, Owen? Promo code Shapiro, right, Owen? Right? Oh, his lust for gold. Not yours, his, right? But you speak his name in the grift, in the art of the grift. Actually, what do we have? I think we have, I think I remember when you ran the original. Let's see if I can find it. Do we have it? Tell me it's here. Yeah, I think, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Promo code Shapiro for 20% off, right? Good. Speaking to that microphone there, Owen. Speaking to that microphone. Promo code Shapiro. Remember you said that a couple months ago? For Gavin McGinnis. Remember? Promo code Shapiro, 20% off. Those are your words. You had it on the microphone there. Go ahead and say it on that microphone. Open your mouth and say it on the right on the end of the microphone there, okay? There you go.
Say shit. I just don't quite get where his head's at. The amount of deep sin that Ben Shapiro has committed, you know, about the just begging for war. Say shit. You've earned it. Where you're going, you're allowed to say shit. Or just, you know, confess your sins, move on. But feel free to say shit, Ben. Where you're going.
Where are you going, Owen?
Won't, you know, rape you in the fires of hell for eternity any less if you censor the word shit.
Do people get raped in the fires of hell for eternity for taking advantage of mentally ill people who have been stricken with a disorder called CWS or COD? And you know that. Don't act like you don't know it. You absolutely know. Because if you didn't know that, Owen, you wouldn't have to mention Hollywood and remember when every single stream. Every single stream. You wouldn't be so fucking insecure that you have to continuously mention Hollywood and fucking Sandler and this one and that one and this one and that one, okay? And every movie you've been in and use clips from the improv from 15, 20 years ago, right? Because you know the people you've activated and are now robbing, my opinion, are stricken. They're mentally ill. They're low IQ, mentally ill people. And they all, I promise you, all can be diagnosed with celebrity worship syndrome. And I'm going to prove that in the next video. Again, I'll slow this down when we get to the subject here, but I'm not going to clip this, cut this, or scoot ahead. As painful as it may be, because you're not going to continue to lie about people taking your fucking evil words out of context.
Some other good news. Really? Do the Faustian Bill Nye this. Oh, that'd be a funny one. I'll do that. But some other good news. A lot of good things happening. So Stefan Molyneux, I posted this and said home run by Stefan Molyneux. I actually apologize for being so hard on him. I shouldn't have called him a Canadian. And he liked it on Twitter from Owen Benjamin or Owen Comedy. I don't run it, but he gets it. He knows it's me. So I think he accepted my apology because I did go too hard at Molyneux because I was like seething at the thought of people taking the ticket and engaging in violence in the street. And I thought he was pushing that. And he was in a little weird way, but I definitely overreacted. And he's been hitting some, I'm right about the anarcho-capitalism weakness, whatever, but I was way too hard on the guy. And so I apologized and he accepted. So that's been handled because he's just been hitting home run after home run on Twitter. Like, this is amazing. You know, Joe Biden is virtue signaling like the closet homosexual cuck that he is. We'll get to my dad. Don't worry. It's not how a president should speak. It's not how, bear in mind, he's referring to our current president trying to maintain our country from global open borders. That's the least he can do. All right. It's not how a president should speak. It's not how a president should behave. Most of all, it's not what a president should believe. We're better than this. And Stefan Molyneux just comes in. You smell children. It's because I do think we're in a bit of an apocalypse here. An apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. It's the revealing. It's the great revealing. Those who are last will be first. Those who are first will be last. It's almost like when a lake churns up the underbelly of the lake and everything flips.
Yes, Owen, preach, sir. Yes. Oh, yes. The lake is revealing. Didn't you say 2024 would be the year of the reveal or something? Yes, the lake is overchurning all of the dead bodies and all of the dead souls and all of the dead words, right? You should see Covert Radio's lake in his vault, sir. And I'm going to blow your mind, I promise you, in the next video with something I found in the vault. I couldn't even believe it. But see, again, I go into automation. I go into auto mode. I'm so used to screenshot, comment section, streams, comment section, streams, web pages, screenshot. Okay, I can't wait to show you something. That'll be in the next video. But yeah, preach, Owen. It's the review and the churning. Oh, it's all churning up now, isn't it? Yeah.
We're currently experiencing it. The institutions are crumbling. The evil ones are being seen. I experienced it this week with my dad. And I am going to tell everyone about it now. But I will also show you a couple more things. You can buy a big bag of peas at the store for like $4. So why do we garden and plant and raise peas and pick peas and snap peas? This is the original Snapchat right here. Me and my son Walter, and then Winston Churchill's in the crib plotting Dresden genocides. And that's what life is. You and your kids don't have, it doesn't make any financial sense what I'm doing, but it makes all the sense in the world. You don't have memories of you and your dad going to a store to buy peas. You have,
Again, knowing what I know now, and there's a lot of people that should be, awakened to this fact about this entity on the screen. This is a photo op. This is a photo op. Now, I get it. Everybody has phones. Everybody has cameras, all this and this and that. But knowing what I know now about this entity, it was staged. I'm not saying that there isn't peas in this and whatever, but I don't know. Something tells me that this is staged. Because of, you've never seen him do this since, and it helps underline and solidify the character that he's playing during this time. The family man, Christian, God-fearing salt of the earth, who's the victim now, and he's going to cleanse from his own victimhood. Perpetual victim, I'm the victim. Oh, poor Owen. Look, this is the real Snapchat, really? Okay. Just you and him? Sure. I'm sure. What was Amy doing? Yeah, baby's in the crib, right? I mean, come on. Playpen. Babe, get up real quick. Let me sit there and then, okay, stand back and take this picture. I'm going to use it in my next stream, right?
memories of you and your dad growing the peas and getting the peas and putting them in a bowl and then freeze drying them. And that's Snapchat right there. That's what we're doing. And so that is what life is. So when people say you're saving something financially, you're not. You're losing everything. That's what life is. Never, ever lose track of that, because we are in an apocalypse.
Who lost track of that, sir? You, according to you, you had it made there, right? That's life. That's great. Life, huh? But look at you now. Look at you now. Grifting, squeaming, like slithering around, doing anybody's podcast. They had 3 subscribers. I'll do it. Does anybody have money? Is there money to buy my special? Anybody have money? Slithering around, lying, manipulating mentally ill people, taking advantage of them. Come on. Obsessed now with the grift and the greed of all these people bending to your will, and you lie to them over and over and over and reword and lie, because that's what the next video is about. The whole new beg video, which again caused something to break in my brain. And this is Covert Radio like 2.2022. I don't know, even when I started focusing on Owen Benjamin, if I had such a burning desire in my heart to expose this fraud, this charlatan. Because he is a very, very, very dangerous person. And I mean that. And I'm going to prove that in the very next video. I'm going to prove that to you. People like him are possessed, and they activate other dangerous people. And I'm going to prove that to you. He's dangerous.
Just like Holocaust doesn't mean genocide. It means a burnt offering. Apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. It means an upheaval, a revealing. And so it is the end of the world for some pretty twisted people. But it's just the beginning for people that are emerging from this, understanding that it's our time to be good again. You know? Some of the best childhood memories in the garden picking. Exactly. Only farmers should be allowed to vote. I agree.
Even that, I'm gonna play this at 1.25 just to save a little bit more time. So I slowed it down. If I have to take it to normal speed, I will. But he talks kind of slow, so I mean, at 1.25 ain't gonna be bad. I'll make a judgment on that in a couple minutes.
I love snapping beans with my grandma. Exactly. That's what life is.
All right, so let's talk about my dad and my journey in this world. So forget about all the stuff when I was a kid, and I've talked about some of that stuff. It doesn't really matter. A lot of times I just wanted to talk about my dad being bad because I had to, but I couldn't tell the whole story. So here's the story. And there's a reason that I have issues with certain things that I have issues with because I've seen it so up close and personal. When the real unveiling of my father, and the only reason I'm revealing this is because I told him 3 years ago that if he ever put my family or my mother in any harm's way ever again, I would tell everyone about what he's done. And he was like, well, stop yelling at me. So here I am. I don't really want to do this, but I'm a man of my word. My second year I lived in Los Angeles. This is when everything really started to come out. My dad was always a very flamboyant man, sang opera. I used to do a bit before I knew any of this stuff about how I was the only kid in the heterosexual closet because my dad wanted me to play classical piano and be in operas and stuff. But I was like, I really wanted to play catch with mom, and it was a funny irony. And but I didn't know that he was actually gay. And so my second year I was in Los Angeles, and my best friend had just died on my birthday in Italy. He was a professional snowboarder. It was very hard on me. And it was the only time my father ever visited. And he visited for like a week. And I was a busboy. It's the only time he ever visited anywhere I've ever been. He's never called me on the phone since. And no, it gets way crazier. So I'm at work, and my dad, my best friend says, you want to go to see at Owen's restaurant? He works at a Japanese restaurant. Say hi to him. And my dad says, no, I'm just going to grade papers. And so they go say hi to me. And then later, like a month later, my friend says to me, I don't know how to tell you this, Owen, but your dad, I guess, doesn't know what computer history is. And he was looking at gay pornos on my computer. And I didn't believe my friend. I actually got in a big fight with him. And I'd been friends with him since I was 5 years old. And I called him a liar. And I said, you're just trying to, attack my dad. And but it stuck with me because I'm like, why didn't he come visit me? And he's like, he's compulsive. He was, OMG. Oh, guys, just wait. So I think about it a long time, and I finally tell my mom, and she doesn't believe it either, but something didn't sit right with us. So my mom started going through all his things, his old stuff, and finds his old diaries. So it turns out he had a relationship with the guy that I thought was my godfather back when I was, back before, decades before. And I always just knew Carl moved to Brazil. That's what I was always told. And so, and she also found letters between other guys, and she had a complete meltdown, And that was a time in my life where I tried to justify my father because I loved him so much, and I just couldn't believe it. So I'll show you the first thing I ever made to, guys, it's just the beginning. Just wait. So I made this.
I'm going to agree with you, Owen. Just wait. Trust me. Just wait. It gets way crazier. Now, Owen, let me just make sure nothing's been taken out of context, right? There's no slicing, no editing, no nothing, right? Okay, because if you dare fucking say that, I have more proof of this, okay? More proof. I swear to God, I can substantiate this is the entire clip in its entirety. Okay?
Try and deal with it. This is called Gaytown. I made it a year after truly finding out that my father was a closet homosexual. And this is Gaytown. This was me trying to understand, because at this point in my life, by the way, I'm telling this because I told him that if he ever put my mom in harm again, I would tell the world. Here I am. So I, at that point, wanted to excuse his behavior. I became somewhat moral relativistic. And I said, I don't know what it must be like to be gay. Like, what's it like just to be hated for something random? I used to joke that if it wasn't for homophobia, I wouldn't exist. And is my dad publicly out? Nope. He is now. So I made this as a way for me to deal with it about, imagine being a closet heterosexual in a gay world. And that's how I can deal with my father and have empathy for him and compassion for him because it's not his choice. He didn't choose this world. Here it is. This is Gaytown. This is from 2006.
We're now part
No,
of.
that's the wrong one. That's a hysterical. Another thing I did. Where's Gaytown? Give me 1 second.
You know, I want you to consider this too. I don't know why Gaytown. I never knew what it was. I swear to God I didn't. And then I'm like, oh, once I saw this clip, I thought it was on SNL. Like I thought, oh, this would be funny on SNL or a skit show. But he keeps calling it a movie. I mean, I don't know how many. Okay, we get the joke. I mean, you get the premise of the joke within, what, 30 to 45 seconds? Ha. So you're telling me you built an entire movie around one fucking joke? That's insane. That's insane. This would be a skit. This is a skit, a running skit, maybe, on SNL. I mean, that ship has long sailed, but I don't know. I always thought people would mention Gaytown like it's some movie or something. I didn't know it was like just one joke told 20 different ways.
Let me find Gaytown, ladies and gentlemen. It gets way, way crazier, guys.
Oh, it does.
Buckle up, buckaroos. Here's Gaytown.
They say there's something wrong with me. I've always known I was different. I never fit in with the other guys. I always wanted to play basketball with the girls while all the boys did ballet or figure skated. Do you guys need one more? I'm tall. Guys can be cruel, and sometimes the beatings were vicious.
Taste my skate.
It's hard being a heterosexual. So much pressure to be a normal gay guy and get a boyfriend, get a matching jumpsuit, get a small dog, and put a sweater on it. Live a normal life. I've always tried to fit in, but you can't hide who you are. I'm an outsider. I'm a straight man living in Gaytown.
I want to clarify this too, and I want you to consider this. Who is this really for? Who is this really, really, really for? Because to me, I think gay men would find this, or gay women would find this hilarious, honestly. Gay men and women would find this hilarious. Like, oh, that's so true. Oh, the matching jumpsuits. Oh, look at the little dog matching. Like, I don't know if a lot of normal people, and I'm saying like normal as in what's considered normal, straight, whatever, traditional. I don't know if this hits. But to a gay audience, I'm sure they'd be pissing themselves laughing.
You've been working out lately, I've been noticing.
Yeah. I've been trying to land, like, for a while I was just banging, like, sevens.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to move up to, like, I just want, like, better looking dudes, you know? And, like, I don't make a whole lot of money, so I got to do it with the body.
Oh, hey, what's going on, boss?
Something I got to talk to you about, Owen.
What's that, sir?
Afraid I might have to let you go.
Let me go. Why? I'm working my ass off.
It's been brought to my attention.
You know, consider the fact, too, that this is what I don't know. It's just so odd how I've pieced Owen Benjamin together with a little bit of information, because this is his creation, right? He made this. Well, you see the first scene. It's what he considers the over dramatization of what a straight male is. They use man tools, shovels, and they thrust them, these archaic weapons, they thrust them into the ground, and they got to pick up about a pound of dirt and throw it like 3 feet away. Men work, such manly men work. And it also kind of shows you his insistent, direction of hiring somebody like Adam Camacho from Hollywood to film and produce the Beartaria commercials on the film set that everybody purchased with their money. They thought they'd get to camp for 2 weeks, but what they actually bought was a film set so that Owen could perpetually, continuously make money and trying to sell the same grift, the same campground for what, 5 years now? 5 years, and there's still no campground. But he wants more land. Instead of developing 1 or 2 acres, he wants another 40 of just dead land. So that he can put it, now after these 40 acres, Owen, you going to buy a cowboy hat? You're a rancher now, boy, huh? You going to get into the beef-fed grass? Or the grass-fed beef? Is that what the grift is? All these dumb, idiot, low IQ, mentally ill people bought you a ranch and now you're a cattle farmer selling beef? Where's the fucking campground, Owen? But you see, this is his depiction of what men do. Totally manly. Men working on they work on job sites with shovels.
But you could be one of those weirdo straight guys.
What does my sexuality have to do with anything? I'm just working.
How am I supposed to trust a man who doesn't want to have sex with me?
Sir, I just shoveled dirt.
You are fired.
I've been fired 3 times this month for being straight, sir. What am I supposed to do for money?
I suggest you clean up your act, freak.
Oh, man. What am I going to do now?
Yeah, I see you looking at me, bro. No big deal. I read you. I got what you want.
Tea time's over, boys. Back to work.
Yo, call me.
All right, so that was 13 years ago. So I called that 13 years ago. The world actually became more like that. So
Again, is that a movie? I mean, that looks like a skit. I don't know, skit on SNL. And even then, it might not have landed. I don't know. Maybe it would have, but just seems like something a lot of gay people would enjoy.
at that point in my life, I was trying to reason with the whole situation. And then my mom found out that my dad was having some sort of relationship with a guy with AIDS, allegedly. I don't even know if AIDS is real or not. So my mom and I are talking on the phone, and she's crying. And my mom doesn't cry very often. And I remember she said something that I'll never forget. She said, I was just a girl from Wisconsin. I didn't know what any of this was. My mom didn't know what gay porn was. And that sent me into a time in my life of nihilism, hedonism, where I just didn't care about anything. I did, in a way. It just, my vibrations went down. I never hurt anyone. I fortunately have zero gay interests in my life. I've never had any of those. I just didn't care. I didn't think I was going to get married. I thought life was about having sex with beautiful women and crushing on stage. And that was it, because I couldn't handle that.
Okay, Owen.
And then, and I told my mom, and it got my mom and me closer. Not that we ever weren't close, but we got through that. And I said, Mom, what do we do? Do you leave him? And she goes, no. And she,
something, oh, Jesus, something just occurred to me. And the hair's standing up on my arms. If I had my cam hooked up, I'd show you. Owen has been battling who he really is this entire time. We all know Owen. We all know. And how long before one of your boys do this to you? Another 10, 15 years? I'm dead fucking serious. How long before one of your sons do this to you? Number one. The second thing that just occurred to me is now it makes so much more sense of this struggle that he lives, this lie that he lives, with having to be the husband that his mother never had. Do you understand what I just said? Owen's mother is insanely obsessed with him, the fancy boy. And Owen has stated publicly that he was breastfed until 8 years old. 8 years old, okay? My opinion, that's child abuse, okay? That's child abuse. The bond, he just said, me and my mother have always been close. So was Liberace and his mother. You understand that? You see what I mean? But Owen Owen's mom dumped onto him. This is why him and his brother are, you could just see, you can read the addictions on their face. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Because they've both been dealing with this their whole life. The brother has disconnected. And he drinks it away, smokes it away, snorts it away. That's all my opinion, right? Owen, on the other hand, has stepped up and been the man that mommy never had and been the man that mommy deserved. So a lot of the suit wearing, mommy's coming to the festival is, mommy, look what I've done. Are you proud of me yet? Because daddy's never been proud of me. Daddy will never tell me he's proud. Mommy, am I the man you need? Mommy, am I enough? This is his real struggle. For real. And she also has a debilitating level of guilt that she carries with her for putting her children through what they've been through. And Owen can deny all day, left, right, up, down. I mean, I'm not getting into any abuse allegations, but, you know, I've talked about it before. You're not fooling me. It's pathetic. See, people ask how somebody can do this to mentally ill people. What Owen has done to all these ill people and, manipulated them, the way he's treated these people. Even back in 2019, 2020, at the height of his popularity, doing his podcast or whatever, you know, telling people off, fuck you, embarrass people, call them out, ban them for life, right? He wielded all of this undeserved power. But he wielded it in such a mean-hearted, dark-souled fashion that it was startling. And he's activated a bunch of demons. That's for real, and I'm going to prove that into the next video. He's not a good person. He's playing what he believes is a good character. And involving kids now is where it stops. And I can't talk about what's going on. I never could. But, you know, I'm not mentioned in a lawsuit 50 some times for nothing. You understand what I mean? There's a lot of work that goes on in the background, and there's a lot of new work that's been going on in the background. Just like with Worldline, SA, and SafePay, and everything that crumbled unauthorized. There's a lot of work that goes on. Because now that you're involving children in this, you're nobody to these sick men who have their daughters laying on this entity, offering them up. All of them need to be checked. All of them. And I'm talking CYS level, for real. Something's wrong. Something's off. And what they've done is put it in everybody's face. You know, it's actually a theory of mine, too. Like, when people ride around and smoke weed or drink, they're like, oh, we're going to go in the back roads. We're going to take the side streets. No. Don't do that. You want to traffic a bunch of weed or a bunch of whatever. Don't do it in the middle of the night and don't do that. Put a suit on, rent a luxury vehicle, and put 30 kilos in your trunk. And do it during rush hour traffic, and nobody will look at you twice. That's what they're doing. They're putting it out, trying to normalize it, and while at the same time pulling an invisible cloak over top of what's actually happening. But you can't run from who you are, Owen. And there's so much truth in this that you even tell about yourself. He's even lying in this, to be honest with you, but that's not what this is about. But that just dawned on me. Owen's obsession with his mother and vice versa is because he still to this day is trying to be the man that she never had, that he thinks she deserves.
Just didn't. You know, they were never the same. They never had any love anymore, but she just white knuckled through it. She's German. You know, she's German, Scandinavian, English. And
I'll take that back 5 seconds so you remember what he was saying about.
Not that we ever weren't close, but we got through that. And I said, Mom, you know, what do we do? Do you leave him? And she goes, no. And she just didn't. You know, they were never the same. They never had any love anymore, but she just white knuckled through it. She's German. You know, she's German, Scandinavian, English, and Irish, I think, is her background. Just pure American, you know. Her ancestors like settled Wisconsin.
You know, I just took it down to normal speed there. So you guys know this is 100% beginning to end, uncut, no editing, no nothing. I'm only putting it to 1.25 speed to save some time, but you see how slow he talks.
And so I was just drinking and crushing and on a lazy river of life, and I just didn't want what I saw. I didn't want a marriage like I just saw. I didn't want secrets. I didn't, you know, my godfather and my dad used to like had an affair. Like I wasn't going to church. Like I didn't want to be part of something. I thought that marriage was a trap, that it was going to be about deceit. And so I stayed right on the surface. And I met Amy, and love was brought back into my life through Amy. And, you know, God, I just didn't know that at the time, but so down the line, someone came to my mother's house, and I'd cleaned up my act at this point. I was with Amy. I don't remember the exact year, but someone came to my mom's house while my dad was gone asking for money. It was a man. Because I guess my dad, with some of his appetites, would give men money. And so one came to my mom's house. Well, I was gone. I was not living in that city. My brother wasn't there. My mom was alone. And so the young man was just started telling my mom stuff. And my mom, when my dad came home, we all just lit him up. You know, I went back to Oswego. It's like, how could you put mom in that situation? She's like, stop yelling at me. It's like, ah! So I told him that I don't even remember what I told him, but I wanted to kill him. And me and Amy were getting serious at that point. And I kind of alluded to her something about potentially killing somebody. And I said, you know, what if someone is putting someone in date? Like, I just kind of hinted at it. And she said, I need you, Owen. And I wrestled with it a lot. I really was thinking about killing my dad because I'd given him every opportunity I could. I didn't have God in my life. I did kind of, but I wanted to keep my mom safe because what a lot of women don't understand is, a son's bond with his mother is very, very strong. And so when anyone, whether it's your own father or anybody, puts your mother in danger, and when you have a gigolo type character come to your door wanting money from your dad's sexual appetites while your mom's home alone, you see your dad as an absolute threat. So I started thinking about how to kill my dad. I didn't like really go down that road, but and Amy loved me. And she basically said, I need you, Owen. I in my mind, I'm like, yeah, jail wouldn't be so bad if I can kill that guy. And I hated him because his selfishness had then brought my mother into it, his appetites. And bear in mind, this is a little while after I'm being humiliated publicly. His son, as he's giving money to men he's having sex with,
some of which are attacking me on Twitter because they're his ex-students, and they're comparing me to Alex Jones. I'm a right-wing, and my dad silently sits there and says, "Oh, Owen, I mean, you lost your book contract?" And I'm like, "Ah!" And I had two roads in my life: kill my father, or embrace love. And thank God I chose love. Guys, this wouldn't exist if I'd killed my father. I forgave my father. And then I find out this week, my mom is an adjunct professor. Before that, this is me for a few years. For those of you just listening, it's just a little mouse reading How to Kill. So my mother's an adjunct professor who quit being a professor. And bear in mind, when my mother spent money getting her PhD, my dad would threaten suicide because of his money issues. He said, "We'll be in the poorhouse. We don't have the money for this." And he kept threatening suicide when I was a kid. I used to follow him around so he wouldn't kill himself. And just since January, my father stole $100,000 from my mother and gave it to men. So this is how the world works, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably an incalculable amount of money he's done this with. He's been doing this now for literally decades. The sodomite, part Jew fuck. We'll get to that in a second.
So the poor boy who had to go and rob fountains so he could get something to drink and eat, eat and drink. The poor boy who had to use hand-me-down clothes and steal to, all these character stories that Owen has told of, and even again, there's so many lies in what he's saying in this, because I know a lot more than you think I know, Owen. Okay. But you just said your dad had spent so much money over the decades that it's you can't calculate it. It cannot be calculated. But yet they are still homeowners. They still have vehicles, property, whatever. And your mom, because in her book, and I've covered this before, had written a big, couple paragraphs about how great your dad is to take care of the two boys while he rented her an apartment in Oswego so that she could work being an author and write her book. She had the whole summer in a rented apartment so she could work on her book away from you and your brother. And him. That poor people don't do that, Owen. Poor people, they can barely pay their rent. You understand that? The people you rob every day, I'm not talking about the top brass. Okay? I'm not talking about the top brass. I'm not talking about Trevor or, you know what I mean? Like, who else is, the trust fund babies, Aaron. Well, Aaron got daddy's money, right? Aaron got daddy's money. See, and they're all idiots because they know, like Trevor, for example, the failed musician, he has a trust fund. Well, he already knew, when do I have to learn? When do I have to work? I got all this money when I turned 21 or whatever age he got it. And Aaron knows that he's going to inherit daddy's business, so why does he have to go to school or fucking do anything? He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. And then you have banker boy Spermy Bear, who has endless fucking money apparently. And so this is all the top brass. And in the next video, I'm going to show you what they talk about and how they connive and scheme about trying to get around tax brackets and avoid taxes and how to scheme. And, I'm going to show you screenshots of text messages that you've never seen before, talking about hiding money and all kinds of shit. Oh, yeah. You've awoken something in me, Owen, that's been asleep for months and months and months. This new GRIFT video, I don't even know if I've ever had this fire in me. I don't know. I believe you need to be stopped now today more than ever. I swear to God. And it's a team effort. It really is. Speaking of the team, obviously, I always shout out Liz and Tex and Johnny and Alan, Johnny Arcade and Alan Powell, Liz Antoinette, Texas Goat. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. But there's one person. Oh, you know what? I want to give a separate shout out to my girl. Well, obviously, Pandora and, But, there's, she just sent me a message. It's crazy. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Boston Bridget. You know what I mean? My girl, Boston girl, Bridget. And Michelle, obviously, I never forget you. Michelle 33. But, yeah. I think a shout out to my girl, Boston girl, Bridget, and Leaf, much love. I mean, like, again, I never say names because I always forget names. You know what I mean? There's so many that I hold near and dear. My boy Stanley, Dude in the Woods. But there's one shout out that I always forget. And I'm giving him a proper shout out right now. And that's Booncat, right? Booncat. The artiste. The artist, Booncat. He makes amazing things on the Reddit. But yeah. I don't even know really what I was talking about. Let me rewind just a sec.
Doing this now for literally decades.
Oh, money, yeah. So Fancy Boy didn't have nothing growing up, but here's his dad blowing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, incalculable, according to Owen. You can't calculate the amount of money. Then he takes $100,000 off his mom and blows it literally. I mean, so clearly, if you have that ability, because in my mind, I would think, well, I'll take $100,000. She may not miss it. I'm dead serious about that. Like, I mean, it's not like gambling where you're going to lose everything, right? It's all a lie. You listen to Covert Radio for the brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic truth.
The sodomite, part Jew, fuck. We'll get to that in a second. So I had to forgive my father and choose love. And I did. My mother did too. My brother did too. We didn't kill him. We just started. And then, so when I'm on this stream and people are like, just call your dad, dude. Just call your, I'm like, my dad deserves nothing. And so this is how the world works. This is what happens to wizards. And this is why I've committed my life now to, I know my role now. It's to reveal in myself and people and others. And this is my role. I'm doing it. And so I couldn't tell this story because it wasn't my story. It was my mother's. I couldn't kill my father because my wife asked me not to. The love in my life, two people loved me and it saved me. So my mom said, don't tell the story because there's no point. My mother's got this strategic, my mother might as well be, General Patton or Sun Tzu. She is strategic to a degree that's hysterical, right? And so she goes, it wouldn't help anybody. Just leave it. I said, okay, I want to, Mom. People want to know why I'm screaming about sodomites right now. She's like, just leave it. So it wasn't my story to tell. So I could tell my story about my dad, which was that
he threatened suicide a lot when I was a kid and told me that if I wasn't born, he could have been dean somewhere. But I never told anybody about him watching gay porn on my roommate's computer the only time he ever visited me, or his pen pal, the guy with AIDS, or the affair he had with my godfather, or the men he would pay for what we presumed to be sex. That was my mom's story. So this week, my dad, that wizard fucking retard, accidentally sends his financial advisor emails between him and one of his men. It gets flagged. They call my mom. Now people know. Well, I mean, our family friend who's their advisor. And my mom laughs today and says, well, I guess you can tell people now. He stole $100,000 from my mother, an adjunct who gave up teaching to raise his kids, who makes $8,000 a year. $8,000 total.
I mean, if you're just, again, let's do guerrilla math here, just real quick, okay? $8,000 a year, okay? All right? But yet has $100,000 laying around too? Something doesn't make sense here. That doesn't fucking make sense, sir, okay? So $8,000 a year versus your dad being able to steal $100,000 off of her. That doesn't make sense, right? Not at all. So either her money was play money and she was able to save what? Every single penny of that. I mean, I assume it's taxed, so you're actually talking 25% less than $8,000 a year. So, I mean, how many years did it take her? 20, 25 years to fucking save up $100,000 and he wiped her savings out? I mean, does that make sense to anybody? So her money was play money, right? Okay, I mean, that's the only way it makes sense. She saved every single paycheck for what, 20 years? 25 years. Didn't spend a penny. Doesn't make sense.
Because she gave up her career to be a good mother. What does my father do in return? Steals $100 just to cash. Where'd that cash go, Dad? I was just trying to, don't yell at me. I don't know, maybe this is putting together some pieces for you guys about me and my behavior.
Huh?
He's a wizard. I don't hate him. I've forgiven him. He will burn in hell if he doesn't repent. He should get on his knees and beg Jesus Christ for forgiveness to what he did to my mother, to me, to everyone who touched his cancerous life. This is why I know it's possible. Because when I was born, when Jason was first born and the nurse was going to circumcise him, my dad went into a rage. This is why I know he was assaulted as a child. He said, "You stay away from my son." My dad never molested me. He never molested my brother. He insisted that no one touched our penises at the doctors. My dad's a damaged, selfish, empty piece of human shit. But he didn't molest us, and he didn't let anyone cut off part of our dicks. He wanted to end the cycle. He wanted it to end. He failed. He failed. But he wanted to. He didn't create more monsters. But
I disagree, sir. I mean, clearly there's trauma in your childhood. Clearly. I mean, you're not fooling me. And clearly in your brothers. I mean, just a startling fact that your dad's, homosexual, that could have been it, maybe, but I don't know. Your obsession with penis and ass is so far beyond pathological that, I mean, come on. Like, who are you seriously trying to fucking kid? And Owen, I want you to imagine your oldest son doing this to you in another 15 to 20 years. Not even. It'll be about 10 to 15 years. You've destroyed the legacy from your greed, your insatiable greed.
I warned him. I said, Dad, if you put my mother or us, and guys, you don't understand the heat I've taken from these small hat organizations. They try to get my mother fired. They will send my father emails like, your son's really going off the deep end. You know, we're all worried about him. I think he's beating his wife or, you know, just, and my dad is such a wizard, empty, amoral, selfish, sodomite that he's like, oh, Owen, I got an email. Are you really doing these things? My response was, Dad, if you put my family in danger, I will expose you. Because I knew he was scared of that because he's obsessed with status. You know, he's a full professor. He's met Hillary Clinton. Well, he stole from my mother, so now everyone can know that for decades, he's been an insatiable sodomite, liar, and he put my mother in harm over and over and over again. So this is the end of the wizard. I'll tell you, my father's obsessed with money. And so he would always refresh his amount of money he had. How much does he have? He'd keep hitting refresh. Now guess how much money he has left? $5,000 total, because after he just committed this act, my mother got control of all his money. So we will leave him with $5,000 and a broken name.
Again, this is going to happen to you, sir, in 10 to 15 years. That's why I let this play for the last several minutes. Everything you just said about your dad applies to you. There's not one thing that you just said that does not apply to you.
Because that's the end of a life of a wizard, ladies and gentlemen. You lie to a degree that you can't even know who the fuck you're emailing. He was brilliant, musical, funny, charming. Lies become lies, become lies. Look at NASA. Why do you think I'm a wizard killer? Because I chose love. I didn't kill my dad. If I'd killed my dad, I'd be just that demon that he put on my shoulder would stay there. He'd get cement shoes. My father put a demon on my back, and it's there. If I had killed my dad, that demon would only get fatter, and his voice would get louder. And God forbid I like it. Your lies will find you out, exactly. And so that's one reason why these people despise the truth. Silence Owen. Get him off Twitter. Get him off PayPal. He's the devil. Silence Owen Benjamin. Because one bit of the truth reveals all of it. And they know it. And they're shaking. I didn't strike him down. I let him strike himself down. And now that little bitch has $5,000 and a life of fucking sodomy. It's all a test. And this isn't out of anger. It's righteousness. You wouldn't be in jail with the gays? I'd probably not be in jail. But my soul would be fucked up. I could totally get away with it. People that put themselves in those situations where they give shady men money for sex, they can be killed. Guy, a lot of murders go unsolved. You wouldn't sleep as well at night if you knew how many murders go unsolved. All right. It's the apocalypse and you should embrace it because it's the revealing. That's been on my back for decades. It actually feels pretty good talking about it, to be honest.
He's been dead to me for a while, and I also forgive him. It's really bizarre. I hope, I truly, for the man he was when he went into a rage in that hospital to keep the doctor from circumcising my brother, for the man he was when he introduced me to Bach and La Boheme, I hope he gets on his knees and he says, Jesus Christ, forgive me. And Dad, say Jesus Christ. Don't say God. I know your little tricks. I know God of this world. Beg Jesus Christ for forgiveness and you will be forgiven. Because Jesus Christ forgave me. And that's why today I sat on my porch with my son snapping peas. I wasn't sitting in a jail cell or a little apartment thinking about murder because I chose life. I chose love, and love will heal you. The love my mother had for me, the love my wife had for me, saved me. It allowed me to feel like I didn't have to do something that would destroy everything. And just Proverbs, man, Book of Psalms, they do it to themselves. He came to visit me when I was 22 in LA, and he couldn't go a day without watching porn on my roommate's computer. At that point, everyone knew but me. And then I went into the lazy river of nihilism. Not evil, just nihil, just nothing matters. The father that was supposed to be the representation of God in my life is a unsatisfiable sodomite.
You know who you talk. I mean, it's so hard for me to let this play, and I'm gonna take it back up to 1.25 the speed because, dude, who are you talking about? You're talking about yourself, Owen. Are you that unaware? I don't believe you're that unaware. Because look what your greed is doing to you, and it's far from over. You need another 40 acres of land? Debt-free, right? Who the fuck do you think you are? Seriously.
And people want to talk about, why I have an issue with a lot of Jewish people. What if I had an issue with clowns? I don't like clowns. No one cares. Why can't I say I don't like a lot of Jewish people? My town, Oswego, New York, is the only town to take in Jews during World War II. I used to be proud of that. Do you want to know the whole story? Franklin Roosevelt, that cripple monster, wanted to punish Oswego because we were the only county in New York State to not vote for him. Oswego County was a red county in New York State during Franklin Roosevelt's election. So how did he punish us? He took 900 Jews and sent them to our town. I now realize that they got on the boards of the churches. Guys, my town is so infested with pedophiles that I don't know anyone that didn't at least get fondled by an old man to the point where it didn't even really have an effect on us because everyone did. Franklin Roosevelt punished our town for not voting for him. So he sent in 900 refugees in a town of 12,000, a Catholic town. And so now, growing up, I was always like, oh, all the priests are pedophiles, all the priests are pedophiles. You go back and you look at who got on those boards. Who infiltrated, who started funding shit. Yeah.
Do I need to rewind it? Let me take it back. I just want you guys to be perfectly clear about what he's disclosing here. He says us, and I'll actually take it down to normal speed for this one.
Our town. I now realize that they got on the boards of the churches. Guys, my town is so infested with pedophiles that I don't know anyone that didn't at least get fondled by an old man to the point where it didn't even really have an effect on us because everyone did. Franklin Roosevelt punished our town for not voting for him. So he sent in 900 refugees in a town of 12,000, a Catholic town.
And so now, growing up, I was always like, oh, all the priests are pedophiles, all the priests are pedophiles. You go back and you look at who got on those boards, who infiltrated, who started funding shit. Yeah, I have a right to not love Jews. They sent in 900 into my town, and they turned Oswego, New York into a pedophile island.
That sounds pretty personal, right, Owen? Right? See how he's saying the truth without saying the truth. So is that a lie? No, not really. But again, there's a lot of untold truth in this, and there's a lot of lies in this, but you see what he's saying here. And that's the basis. That's like the N-word stole my bike, gives him carte blanche to hate an entire race of people. So because whatever happened in the room wax with Father O'Malley and, you know. Right, Owen? Right.
And it was punishment. It wasn't because of kindness. I know Jews I like. In general, I don't like them. I also don't like clowns. So, I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to kill them. I want to avoid them. I grew up in a town that got infested by Jewish pedophiles during World War II. A lot of kids I know got raped. Okay? One clown can fuck you up for life. I don't like clowns. I don't like Jews that much. Some are fine. I just don't really like them. I think they lie a lot. They act like victims. And they have strange sexual practices, as Bernie Sanders once said. I also don't like sodomites. I think they inherently are secretive and they're family destroyers. I'm losing my voice. What did the clown do to me? Nothing. I'm giving you an example of how insane it is where you're not allowed to not like a group of people. I don't like being around a lot of Jews. A lot of them lie. A lot of them are perverts. They have strange sexual practices. I also don't like being around clowns or magicians for a lot of similar reasons. I also don't like gay pride. Every time I see a fag flag waving in the sky, I'm reminded of my mom with tears in her eyes taking an AIDS test, telling me that she was just a girl from Wisconsin. All right, let's open some bear mail. You have a right to not like certain groups of people. You just don't have the right to kill them. And coming from a guy who was really thinking about it, you can really believe that I know that. I saw two roads in the woods, and I chose the right road. I don't like Jews very much. I don't like homosexuals very much. I have no right to kill them. And since I've withstood that with my own fucking dad, who's part Jewish and full-blown sodomite, I can withstand anything. I can. When people call me full of hate and all that, I have proven that I have love and forgiveness. I've proven it in ways that most people can't fucking comprehend. Greetings from Black Thumb Bear. I'm glad to pay for content I like, rid myself of Netflix so I can afford a little bit for the comedy you give that's dripping with logos. Inspired after your short video to comment, I didn't date Mexican men when younger because they were too short. Married my 6'2" Slovak-looking hubby. He's Polish, Welsh, Irish. He is my loving handler. I can hear the trolls now. Racist, bigot, who cares? My children look white. It's hysterical. Would love to know my ethnicity. I've been told Mexican on Fallacies. It doesn't matter if you have logos. I mean, it matters a little bit, but who cares? Thank you. So yeah, for people that want to keep shaming me about my dad, like Alex Jones, oh, Owen has daddy issues.
Oh boy. I can't stand the bear letters, but I'll take it back down to speed. It's almost over.
Yeah, I do, Alex. I do. But I've dealt with it as best as I can.
Yeah, I'll take that back. Alex says
handler.
Owen has daddy issues.
I can hear the trolls now. Racist, bigot, who cares? My children look white. It's hysterical. Would love to know my ethnicity. I've been told Mexican on Fallacies. It doesn't matter if you have logos. I mean, it matters a little bit, but who cares? Thank you. So yeah, for people that want to keep shaming me about my dad, like Alex Jones, oh, Owen has daddy issues. Yeah, I do, Alex. I do. But I've dealt with it as best as I can. My dad was a suicidal, homosexual narcissist that stole my mother's retirement. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some daddy issues. But I'm doing the best I fucking can. And I don't have to sell boner pills like a sweaty retard like Alex Jones. I'm a fighter and I'll keep fighting. And that's it. So I'll play you the Fallon one more. Yeah, God bless my mother. But my dad, this is how it ends for the wizards. Incantations and spells, and you're the king and you can lie. Just keep holding on, ladies and gentlemen. The good guys win in the end.
Thank you, Owen. That means a lot. You know what? Give it up for Owen. But the good guys do win in the end, Owen. The good guys do win in the end. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna win, sir. We're gonna win.
Just think about all the nights I held on, even drunk. Do you know one of the reasons I always wanted to be drunk is because this demon is on my back.
Poor you. Poor you, Owen. Poor you. Does that give you the fucking right to do what you've done to thousands of people, sir? No. No. Because guess what? There are people dealing with shit far worse than that. And there are people that have gone through shit far worse than millionaire daddy was interested in men. Okay, victim. Shut the fuck up.
And it's gone to almost nothing. Every day you can choose love. Love. God is love. God is not vengeance. If you really hate the wicked, like I do, you let them do it to themselves. Our family from one of its wings amid a controversy that has seen the billionaire donors accused of pushing a highly addictive opioid blend.
That was not my cut, so let's take it back. This is the actual video, so I don't know what that was.
Them do it to themselves. Our family from one of its wings.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a glitch in the, watch the timer if you don't believe me. Watch.
If you really hate the wicked, like I do, you let them do it to themselves. Our family from one of its wings amid a controversy that is.
It was 4705 through 4706 and then 7. There was no glitch. Tick, tick, tick. So that was a glitch in the stream or something.
Seen the billionaire donors accused of pushing a highly addictive opioid blend for tens of thousands of deaths. Corporations are neither good or evil. They don't have a pulse. Corporation, it's a vampire. I've done whole streams on what a corporation is.
Oh, that's interesting, Owen, because that's the next video. And we're going to talk about your corporations, and we're going to talk about Sam Mitchell's corporation and all the changes that have happened in the last few months, huh? Yeah, we're going to talk about the evil fucking corporations. Yeah, we're going to, that's weird. That's serendipitous almost. Wow, it's almost like God is blessed this stream. You know what I mean?
If enough people speak out. A while ago, I started talking about the Sackler family when no one knew anything about them. I was talking about the opioids, Sackler, Hope, and people were like, who are these people? The corporations go with people's will. Debt. And I highly recommend you guys listen to a Pockets of the Future video he did today about the economics of the internet and debt. Debt forces people to do the will of a master, okay? Corporations aren't inherently anything. They're puppets. Speaking out, withstanding, growing, love. Like, you will survive. You will not only survive, this was me today. My dad was terrible. As bad as I can imagine. And I mean that. Everyone he touched basically got soul cancer. I clawed my fucking way out of it with the help of God, love, will, comedy, community, you people being here. Just everybody being like, oh, Owen's lost his mind, and just having one fucking bear be like.
But what about the Zionist, who is the real reason the real reason you are able to sit there and have people watch you is because of the Zionist in Hollywood. Where's their thanks, Owen? Oh, wait. What version of Owen Benjamin was this? Version Righteous Christian, pre-COVID grift? Yeah. Oh, okay. This isn't Hollywood heathen. Okay. I just want to make sure I got it straight. And mind you, these variations, these amalgamations of Owen Benjamin are changing every 1 to 2 years. This isn't somebody who's grown out of it. This is a character that keeps trying to reinvent themselves every 1 to 2 years. You want to talk about cancer? You want to talk about something that is reimagining its form? You want to talk about corporations bending to the will of people? Also, you're a Trump supporter this year. You're a Christian this year. You took all their money. Now what? Oh, you're the Hollywood superstar. You're still, robbing those people. You're a comedian, even though you haven't been on a stage in 15 years. You're this, you're that, you're that, you're this. What's the Mr. Ripley movie? The talented Mr. Ripley? The talented Mr. Smith. There he is.
He's a good man. 1 in 100 can help me. You people were part of this. My dad fucked my godfather. My dad gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to male prostitutes. My dad threatened to kill himself my whole childhood. We survived. Not only are we surviving, we're fucking thriving. Mock the devil. My son will never have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Amy have talked about that. It's like, as fucked up as this world can be, our kids won't have to be in that shit. Love. And so when I see people, that was why I had that mix up with Maunu, and I did apologize.
I swear to God, I hope I live long enough to see your oldest son do this to you.
I'm glad that he accepted the apology. But when I see people almost taking that violence ticket, I start going, don't take the ticket. If I had killed my dad, I wouldn't have my kids. If I had killed my father, I wouldn't have Walter and Charlie. I was this fucking close. Don't take the ticket. Vengeance is the Lord's only. And now my wizard fucking dad is left with $5,000 and everyone knows what the fuck he is. Thank you, God. All right, guys. Good times. I'm going to get out of here. I'm losing my voice. Yeah, I love you guys, for real. Thanks for, this community's been good for a lot of people, and not just the people that write me letters, me. And I'm really glad I got to say the story today. And you don't have to do shit to my dad. You don't have to point at him nothing. He's in his own hell. And I hope he fucking asks for forgiveness. To watch someone that I loved as a kid, that I looked up to, that did stand up for his kids, who tried to break cycles. It's like Anyone can become an animated puppet of the devil. Anyone. Anyone. Follow the fucking Bible. Or you either end up in a little hell, whether it's in a jail cell or in your own house.
I can't listen to no more because this fucking demonic entity on the screen wipes his ass with the Bible. He wipes his ass with Christianity. He is a demonic force that is ruining people's lives. You've got the whole video here. We're 5 minutes out. You've gotten all of it, okay? There's still 5 minutes left, and that's it. That's it. I'm not going to listen to this entity preach. I will not. And I will not allow him to preach whatever he is, this frequency, to the good people of Covert Radio. So check the description. This is Covert Radio, brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. We're bringing the highest level of discerning insight into events, demons like this, and all of the contrived lies of the demented tide. If you want to support this type of media, become a Covert Radio tribunal. And this is just the start, man. This is a Covert Radio 2.222 because I don't know what he did in my brain, but something snapped. And I promise you something, Owen, okay? This next video is gonna change the trajectory of your life. I'm done being nice. I'm done with redaction. You know why? Because everything that you're mired in is public information, and it's a corporation. That information is available to the public. I'm done. I'm done removing addresses, names, okay? Because it's all public information. Let some fucking hack attorney come after me for that, and we'll see where that goes too, okay? It's public information. If you touch this channel, I am suing you for harassment and a violation of my constitutional rights. You don't get to source the public, abuse the public, manipulate the public, and then hide everything in secret. And then come after the people that are shining the lights, like Covert Radio and the Covert Radio Tribunal. You understand me, sir? You guys take care. Have a good day.
My father teaches this at a college. He teaches mass communication, persuasion, public speech. He's a wizard. But I know how it works. And if people want to know, I will teach them. And you can look at my life. I bat 1,000.
I know how it works.
This is Grabber Football, pal. Strap on your helmet. This is real. I know how it works. This is real.
You are listening to Covert Radio.